Right, just a quick reminder, please don't subscribe. You know, you don't have to share the channel. There's nothing useful here at all to anyone. So yeah, like and subscribe, and sharing is just, please don't. You know, I've already got far too many people in the world already harassing me. You know, having to produce videos for you all is just, you know. So there's nothing interesting in this upcoming video, just so you know, okay? And it won't be of any use to anyone, okay? At all. So don't watch it. Yeah, that's it really. Nothing interesting coming up. Cheers. Right, everyone. This video, I've tried doing this one a few times now, and I keep falling over myself by going on tangents into the far sunset. So, I now have a piece of paper because I need one to keep me on track. Right, you want to start your own drone business. Now, this is where it's going to get a little bit. So the first things you have to ask yourself, right, is not what area of the business you want to go into, not where you want to fly drones or any of that kind of stuff. The first things you need to really be doing is working out some sort of business plan, okay? I'm not going to tell you how to do that because, to be honest, one of my mistakes, and I put my hand up, I still have no business plan today. My business plan is I'll fly anything you want, and I can do just about anything the client wants. That's my business plan. Shit, isn't it? So, right. Go and get a proper business plan, okay? That is one of my first bits of advice, okay? Sort yourself out a business plan and do a bit of research into different sectors, but we'll talk about that kind of stuff later, okay? Going into different sectors and doing different things. The first thing you need to actually consider, right, even before you buy your drone, is, are you going to be a limited or a sole company? Okay, so you've got you, here you are, right? This is you, right? Now, if you're like me, you could have a house or you've got other things. The first question becomes, do you want to be limited or sole trader? What's the advantages, Mark? Well, you know, so if you want to be limited, okay, limited, you can claim back VAT and all the lovely stuff, so you can claim VAT back on anything you purchase and more. You know, you're going to end up being limited and VAT registered and all that. The good side is that should anything go awry or go wrong, right, only your business is at risk, okay? So it kind of ring fences your house. So if you've got a house, right, let's say you've got a little house here, right, here's your house, there's a roof, I'll put a little door, I'll put some windows, right? Basically, right, this becomes a ring fence and protected, okay? So there's lots of, you know, go see a financial advisor as well, by the way. Don't just listen to me because I don't know anything. So don't listen to everything I tell you as gospel. But basically, a limited company, your house, your car is protected, okay, should something horrible ever happen. You know, if your company goes bust, your company goes bust. If it just takes the assets that are in it, you know, if you get sued by a client for bad data and they take you for like £100,000, guess what? They can't get your house, they can't get your car, okay? Well, that is a limited company, okay? And that is one of the best ways to go, and that's what we tell a lot of people. However, you could just be a little sole trader, okay? Sole trader, okay? And this is where I sit, to be honest. I'm bad at taking my own advice. Right, so I'm a sole trader. I'm not VAT registered, but there are certain caps. I don't think I can earn more than about 85 a year before I have to go VAT registered. Okay, so anything over 80, I think it's 80, 85. Again, business advisor, you know, or financial advisor, they'll tell you what it really is, because don't listen to me, because, and this is UK by the way. So we can only earn up to about 85k, 80k before we have to go VAT registered and go through the pain of that, or not, as the case may be. Okay, sole trader, again, you've got your house, okay, we've got our house, got a door. This time, they come to you and someone sues you for bad data. You did a construction site, you did all the mapping, your data was a metre out, you know, you've caused millions of pounds worth of issues. Guess what? This time they can come. And this time your house isn't protected. This time that's gone. That could happen technically, okay? Again, speak to a financial advisor and you know, someone business savvy, but this is your first thing you have to decide. Sole trader, limited company. Sole trader, limited company. And you know, just decide which way you're going to go. That is your first job to do, okay? Because if you're taking money, you're going to have to pay tax on that money, sole trader or not. If you make money, you're going to pay tax somewhere. Doesn't matter, okay? They're going to come and take money from us. So first job, decide. Sole trader, limited, okay? So that's, I can cross that off my list. Right, so that's that done. Now, people and skills. The question becomes next, right? Are you going to do this by yourself, right? Are you just doing it by yourself? This is the next important question. Now, it could be that you're going to add this to your business already. If you're a builder, if you're in a surveying business, you work on construction sites, if it's something that you're actually going to pull in and add as a tool to your business, then at this point here, you may not need anything else, right? You already know, you're a limited company, you're a construction company, you're going to have your own drone team, okay, which you might just put out there, okay, I need 3 drone flyers or 2 drone flyers, you know, or make it part of your survey team. That is just bringing it into your business, okay? So, if not, and this is just about you want to set up your drone business, I do say that in the drone business, you do need 3 people in a business to make it kind of work. And, you know, I am just little old me. I work for me. I always have done for the past 8 years. It means I have to do a lot more at times. And I can only take on certain size projects. You know, you kind of get yourself limited to a degree, and or you end up flying for other people. But we'll get to that kind of stuff. But as I'm saying, I think there should be 3 people in any business. Now, there are people out there going, you're wrong, you're rubbish, I don't know what we're talking about. Personal experience. Right, so, why do we need 3? Right, let's bring in those people. Okay? Do you like my stick people? You can tell I was really arty at school, couldn't you? Can't you? Yeah, really good at art. Right. Now, the reason why I say you need 3 people is you are, let's say, right, for example, you are the remote pilot. You are the RP. Okay? That's great. If you're by yourself, who's getting the work in? Who's running around doing your sales? Who's running around doing your data processing? And this is what a lot of people miss. Now, I've seen a lot of people, and what they do is they set up a drone business, and this is what happened. So let's talk 2015 to now, okay, and I've seen this. I would say this has happened more often than not, okay. This is what tends to happen, right? Ignore the other 2 people. You're a remote pilot, you've got your drone permission, okay, you've done your course, you're out there. Right, what can I do? What can I do? Oh, well, it's all media based. Most people have got media based. And when I say media, I mean photos, videos, doing like business trailers, you know, promoting businesses, video bits and bobs. And what they've discovered is that people need ground cameras. Okay, so the drone can't do everything. And they've gone, oh, I need a ground camera. And before you know it, they've gone into the media business. The drone's become a tool, and I know people that have got a drone, started doing ground stuff, and now they only use the drone for like, I don't know, 10% of the work they do. But it's nice to get that shot with the drone. But they do more with media than anything else. It's quite surreal. You know, I know people that have bought all the kit in the world, and yet they've ended up having to buy all the ground kit because they've ended up being a media business. Okay, so bit of a tangent there. Sorry, do apologise. Your time is valuable. So you've got our three people. So we've got the remote pilot, and that could be you. You fly the drone. That's what's been decided. Now, as I said, what you really need is we need the sales guy. Now, here's the thing, if you're out flying the drone, who's doing your sales? Who's getting you more work? Because you're out in the field flying. I did two summers, flying for another company, flying a lot of crops. Now, I was getting paid a day rate and everything, and we'll cover that in types of work in another subject. But what it meant was, while I was flying for them 10 days a month, it meant I wasn't doing any sales of my own. Now I had work, but what happens when that work stops? So when you know, in crops and everything else, agriculture, when you get to sort of July, there's a cliff edge and it just does this, the work just goes boof. And the reason is the crops are now up and everything's done. So you suddenly run out of work, yet you've not been able to get your name out there because you've been busy working anyway. So you need someone in sales, okay? Because they have to get you the next job, okay? Now, the guy on the end, the blue guy, he is your data processor. Now, you can combine roles, so your sales guy might be a good data processor, okay? So it could work out, you only need two people, but I'll say three, we'll go data. And I put data data. Do you know what? I'll just put data proc. I can't be bothered. So data processor. Now, data processor, you could say that's video editing. He could do your photography editing. He could be the editor for everything. Okay. But the great news is, if there's someone doing the editing, you're out working. You're out flying. Okay. And you need this continual loop. You need sales, okay? Because you've got to sell your service. You need to fly it, okay? But you also need to do the data processing. Data processing, then all the data has to go back to the client, so it goes back to the sales guy. He hopefully can pick up more work, which means they can fly, and it's a big loop going round and round. Okay? I've tried working with other people. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Okay? If you're going to work with 3 other people or 2 other people or 1, I've tried working with people that at times, you know, people will disagree with them, and I'll back them up if I think they're right, and if I don't, I'll say it. You know, but you're going to make mistakes out there. You could end up working with the wrong people. I've done it a couple of times, okay? It's just the way it goes. You know, you can't please everyone. If you're going to work with other people, try and find people and sound them out and make sure you see that they're worse than their best. Okay? Because it's the only way. Okay? And that's it. You know, again, if you're adding to a business, that's great, you know, because if you're a construction company and you've got a surveying team, your surveying team probably goes out and works on other construction sites and stuff for the people, and you can just sell your drone service out to that company. Okay, it's all great, but it can be a lot for one person to do. And you have to remember that if it's just you, right, regardless of these other two, you have to make enough money over here that you can't charge that £50 or £100 a job, because if you do, and you've got to do any kind of data processing, remember, you want to be charging the minimum wage, which is about, I think, about £10 or £11 now if you count the livable wage. If you're not making that per hour, including your transport and travel time, you're not doing something right. Okay, but we'll get to that. Finally, we're just going to go with training, a little bit on training. Generally, if you're looking at an RAE, which one do I choose? Oh no, these ones are this, these ones are that, that's a cheap one, that's an expensive one, there's this and there's that. And oh, it's a minefield. When I did the course, there was only Euro USC, and I think there was a military, ex-military ones as well. I forget, Resource Group. So there was only two, when I first started out, there was only two choices. Euro USC or Resource Group. I hadn't really heard of Resource Group when I did mine. I did mine with Euro USC. The training for the money was... I've helped a couple of NQEs, and I've trained an RAE now. You know, which one should you choose? To be honest, I don't really care which one you go to. We all have to teach the same syllabus. This is the bit a lot of people get confused about. But they should only teach you relevant stuff. So I don't consider a TAF relevant, because that's based around an airfield's weather. Who gives a crap about an airfield that's 5 miles away? I don't. How often do you fly off a main airfield? Rarely. You know, very rarely. And when you do fly off a main airfield, it's really funny when they tell you you're stood on the main runway, you're stood on 24, and they go, the wind's from an easterly and it's 5 knots. And it's like, oh, thanks ATC. You know, it's quite nice when they tell you stuff through the radios. But you don't need to know about it otherwise. You're not flying into that airport. You know, we don't fly from one end of the country to the other. So we only care about what's relevant in the drone world, and that's all we should worry about, is what's relevant to us. There can be a lot of padding out and a lot of torture, okay? And it's just you've just got to get your way through it all. Of course, I will say go to Scalatrain and do the training there, because if you're really unlucky, you get me. It's not good. It's not. Don't. No, you don't want me. No, you don't want me at all. So anyway, back to this. So this is it basically. I do recommend, if you're going to go for it, do consider, you know, do you need 3 people? Remember that in your business plan, you can only fly for around 200 days a year, okay? So you've got 200 days that are flyable. You've got to bear that in mind. That means there's 165 that you're probably not going to fly. I mean, today it's absolutely pigging it down out there. What do you do on a day like this? Well, I've got paperwork to do for the CA, and this is my escape to do this video, to go, look guys, if you're going to set up a business, this is what you've got to think about. And this is part 1, okay? So, training, you know, do you need to build on other skill sets? Do look at trying to get, if you can, what you want, really. If you're going to spend some money, do it right. I would say do a course, like I'll give you the A2CFC and the GBC, but try and get something else. Basic photography, don't worry about that, and I'll go into that next time. Or videography, we don't worry about those things. What I would say is do something like a mapping course. Okay, try and get something extra thrown in like mapping. You know, even if it's going to cost you an extra couple of £100 or £300 on top of the course price that you're paying, because that gives you an edge. Okay, you've got to invest in yourself. Okay, because if you don't invest in yourself and your kit, and we'll get to kit and that kind of stuff later, will, you know, you're on the back foot already. You've got to be able to set yourself slightly higher than the competition can when you can. Okay, so basically, do recommend 3 people. Can you make it work if there's only one of you? What I will say is this: if you do it by yourself, right, and there's only one of you, and you are the only person, right, and you don't rely on anyone else, you know, you've not got anyone at home that can help you with paperwork and stuff. I have to do all my own home paperwork, you know. I know a lot of people have partners who help them and stuff. If there's only you, can it work? Yes, it can. But you're going to have to be quite savvy and switched on. And it can work. But what you'll find is, and I've done this, right? I've done this. I don't have anyone in sales. But I've done some really, what I would call cool shit. Right? But I know people in the industry, and this is the important bit. You will learn names and people you will go to for certain things. Okay? So I've got a list of about 10 to 20 people that I trust. I trust them in different ways, so I know that I can go to Tim and I'll go, Tim, you know, fixed wing mapping, that's perfect. Tim can do that. I've got a guy I know called Matt. I can ring up Matt, and Matt will fly anything you want. Matt can fly anything, you know, give him a chance, he'll fly anything, any size, whatever. He comes from a model flying background. I wouldn't hesitate, you know. People get nervous around bigger, slightly bigger drones. Matt's one of those guys you can just go, there you go, and he's fine. I've got Simon, who I know down south. I trust him to go out and do stuff. So you will build, you know, over time, a small group of people that you can do stuff with. And then I've got John as well. And me and John, we've had a blast. We went into Wales for 2 weeks, and I think he enjoyed it. It was a bit of high pressure at times, but we had a blast in Wales doing really, really cool shit I just can't really talk about. But we had a blast. But, you know, each person you get to know will have a different skill set. You know, John was great because he's a builder, comes from a model flying background like I do, and we can both fly anything. You know, we can flick between aircraft and not even think about it. I can fly a fixed wing, a multi-rotor, a VTOL, and just keep going from one to the other without thinking too much about it. And we had such a blast. But you will find that if you are a sole person, you know, you'll end up with 10 to 20 you'll trust to go out and can do work for you as well. Okay? Remember, if you go on holiday and you get a job coming, who's going to do it? So you will have to eventually, at some point, even if you're by yourself, build up a small little group of contacts of people you can use, okay, and you trust. Right, that's part 1. That's rough basics of starting a drone business and where you're going to start. Right, I'll press stop.